In terms of acting, I thought Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Sanon were in top form. In fact, Shahid Kapoor's relationship with his best friend Monty, played by Ashish Verma, is brilliant. I mean, they have such great chemistry as well. Good evening, this is Manjusha Radhakrishnan from Gulf News. I'm here with the review of a very complicated movie title. It's called Teri Baaton mein Aisa Uljha Jiya. Yes, I got it right. But let me tell you, the movie is not as complicated as the title. We are talking about Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Sanon's latest movie, which is a star-crossed romance between a robot, an android, and a human being. So Shahid Kapoor plays the 30-something young lad, while Kriti Sanon plays a humanoid. As far as concepts go and themes go, this is a very novel one. But I wish they had executed it more fairly and more convincingly. This movie is directed by Amit Joshi and Aradhana Shah. And one thing I thought was, like, they brought, I think, both these brains together, but was not able to bring it to the finish line. I mean, look at it this way. Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Sanon, in terms of acting, both of them are very good at it. In fact, Kriti Sanon had my heart. That staccato voice of a robot, or what you would expect a robot to be. She's a look of a robot, and the way she speaks, the way she moves, the lack of emotions on her face, etc. She nailed it, and she's very good and very heartening to watch as well. She calls herself Sifra. She's a self-automated robot. And then there's Shahid Kapoor, who plays Aryan. Now, from the outset, we are told he belongs to a family where he's being forced to get married. His mother's sari is in a twist because he's yet to find a girl and therefore is forcing him to get married. He doesn't seem very keen. He seems to be a commitment phobe of sorts. We don't know what the backstory is. And then to get off that heat from his from his home, he goes to the US, where his cool aunt, played by Dimple Kapadia, very well cast Dimple Kapadia, she plays a robotic engineer. And what we have is his very cool aunt trying to use him as a lab rat to see whether her creation, who's Sifra, passes muster as a human rather than a robot. So he is his lab rat unwittingly. They both, Sifra and Aryan, meet, they fall in love, and once Shahid Kapoor realizes that she's a robot, he still has some, feelings for her. Perhaps that's why he invites her back to India, tells his aunt, it's a great idea if I can introduce Sifra as my fake fiancée to my folks so that they can get off his back. As far as premises go, this is a lot of fun. This is supposed to be a sci-fi comedy, and those parts are really fun. If you've seen the trailer, actually you've seen most of the movie. The first half is very predictable, but it's the second half which is a mess as well. The thing is, one of the biggest letdowns of this film is that they are not able to give us a very convincing backstory on what made Aryan fall in love with Sifra. What is their bond like? I mean, we live in the age of Tinder, we live in the age of Hinge, we live in the age of fast dating apps where, emotions and perhaps relationships alter at all points. So it's very difficult to believe Aryan's trajectory when it comes to his romance with Sifra. The jokes really land. I wish there were more jokes as well. One of the biggest problems I see with this film is that the directors fail to really commit to being either a sci-fi film or a comedy. They want to make a wholesome entertainer, and that's one of the biggest downfalls of this film. I mean, you cannot have a romance, have some few jokes thrown in, very vanilla kind of jokes, but not really explain what it takes to, what it takes for the two to work. Somehow their romances was not very convincing. In terms of acting, I thought Shahid Kapoor and Kriti Sanon were in top form. In fact, Shahid Kapoor's relationship with his best friend Monty, played by Ashish Verma, is brilliant. I mean, they have such great chemistry as well. I remember laughing out loud to some of the big scenes. The best part about this film, I would say, is the humor and the acting as well. But towards the end, I must say, it just becomes a hot mess because it's so predictable. I mean, a robot gone rogue, him falling out of love with her does not make much sense. What happens to the to his folks who were rabidly behind Aryan to get married, etc. None of it is explained. Everything is swiftly covered, and so it fails to, it's done in a very clinical manner, almost like, they're ticking the boxes, which is, I think, one of the biggest missteps done in this movie. But if you're just in the mood for, like, say, a very light, breezy entertainer without asking too many questions, this is for you. But when it comes to like looking for logics, such as why would a robotic, engineer played by Shahid Kapoor not realize that she's a android? I mean, she's not human. All those little lags and holes are not fully developed, nor are they concealed. There are several lags in the story that make no sense. How do they transport Sifra back to India from the US, etc.? And how does she go back to the world of living? Nothing is really explained. But if you're in the mood for just a breezy entertainer without asking too many questions, perhaps this movie is for you. You should put a ring on it. For all others, I think this is a great golden opportunity, gone tame and gone to waste. I've gone with 2.5 out of 5. For my full review, you can always go to gulfnews.com. Do let us know what you think of the movie, and happy viewing at the cinemas.